All right, now that we have our question bank here in Canvas, we can go ahead and make our quiz. So you just go to quizzes, and we are going to add a quiz, so hit the plus. Go with classic. And then it's going to ask you for a whole bunch of different things. So let's give this a name. Demonstration. Give them some sort of direction. Answer correctly. This is going to be a graded quiz. I will add a video on assignment groups in just a second, but if you want to import this or sync it with Skyward, you need to have an assignment group that matches your Skyward. This will sync to Skyward if you click that. One thing I like to do is if it's going to be a quiz that I'm giving in class, I'll put an access code and I'll change that access code right after class so that students can't get in early or they can't get back in and do it multiple times. If I do want multiple times, like if I say you can come in during IPASS and try this again, you can click on multiple times, you can click the highest, the latest, or the average, and then you can also tell them how many attempts that you are allowing. If you want to, you can show one question at a time. And if you're feeling like you don't want them to go back, you can lock the question after answering. So once they answer it, that's it. I don't normally do that. So then you also want to have a due date. We'll make it due today. Sometimes I'll say this has to be done, and I'll give them a range from today, and it's going to be not available until tomorrow. So it's got to be done from those times, and once that passes, it's not available anymore. They won't be able to access it. So now let's go ahead and put the questions in. If I were doing individual questions, it would just be a new question. But since I'm doing it from a question bank, I'm going to do a new question group. And I'm going to link it to the question bank that I just did. So this will actually pull up all the question banks I have in Canvas. And you can see I have more than what we just downloaded. This one was called Demonstration. So I'm going to select that. There are 71 questions in this test bank. I don't want to give them a quiz that has 71 questions. So let's say I'm going to randomly pick 5, or the computer is going to randomly pick 5, and we're going to make each one of those worth 2 points. And the one thing I always forget to do is hit Create Group. You want to make sure you hit Create Group. And yep, that becomes a 10-point quiz. And then you also want to save. Not sure why it's taking so long to save on that one. Okay, and then if you want to, oh, I see the problem. The due date cannot be after the term. So that makes sense. I'm using a kind of a dummy course right here. So let's go ahead and take away all due dates. Okay, if this were a real course, you could put that on there. All right, it is now saved, and you can hit preview to see what it would look like. And you can answer your first question, and then it'll go to the next one. I'm going to hit the first one on each one of these. This is kind of a nice thing to do because you can see what the kids would be seeing as well. And at the end, you can hit Submit Quiz. And what's nice then is it gives the score right away. Okay? So I scored 4 out of 10, which is not surprising. I was just clicking the top choice each time. And if I were to do this again, I would get a different set of questions. If you want to make sure that specific questions from that test bank are used, you can hit Find Questions. And you're probably going to have to look at the question bank ahead of time because I can't remember which one each is. So you'd come over here to see that was our test bank right there, demonstration. I would probably have looked in the bank to see which questions I wanted. So if I wanted number 14, you can click on that. Number 15, 29. So those would give me specific questions. So now those are the specific questions. One thing that you want to be careful on is it automatically puts them at 100 points. I'm not sure why, and I'm not sure how to change that. You just go into Edit, and I can change that to a 1-point question. And again, make sure that you hit Update, otherwise it will not do that. And it's very easy to change. And then you can hit Save and Publish. And now your kids can access that quiz. Hope you enjoyed.